Morning, everybody. We're back with another video for the Hall of Fame League. I want to talk about the end of season stats from the 2001 season. Kind of a little bit of recap. I used to type these up, and I don't know about you, but my schedule. I'm not in charge of my own schedule lately. I went on vacation in the week after Memorial Day, and with all intentions of doing this then, and I just couldn't get around to it. I had more honeydews and things to do in the yard that when I was finished that, I didn't even want to do anything. But even that period is over. Going back to work now, I got a whole bunch of other things to do at work that I might have to change my routine to get to do my strat. I normally try to do those things in the morning between 5 and 6. I might have to start going in earlier to work. So starting maybe next week, Monday, I might be you'll see more updates in the evening. Speaking of updates, don't forget to get your cuts in. I got the website built for the draft, and I need to start populating that with the players. I normally don't do my player research until I get everybody cuts in or during the World Series, which only gives me like a week or two to get through all those players. But when you can get them in, check your rosters. I know people have been sending in your cuts. Paul from the Pirates noticed something, that even though I was making his cuts, I wasn't seeing all the players on the game roster. And I think what was happening, I was using the sort function, looking at different positions and at bats and stuff for who was available in 2002. So when I did your cuts, I may not have seen your player on the roster. So make sure that's you have an opportunity to look at your rosters, especially those who turn theirs in early, because that's when we discovered the error. A couple of folks have been asking me about how my retirement plans are coming. Well, I still got the mark on the wall as December 2020, which is a year and a half from now. I turn in my paperwork in July, and the wife and I will sit down once we get that estimate back and see what we can handle. But if we do retire, we'll probably put the league on hiatus for a little bit. The summer of 2021. If I retire, I promise the kids I'll take them to Disney World in that summer, and then Irene and I are going to hit Europe for 3 weeks. But that's still all in the planning phase. But we should be just about starting the 2005 season then, when the Phillies make their run. So I'll be back, but I don't want to lose you guys. So I'll just give you a heads up. Another thing about retirement is I will be able to put more time into the website, more time into the game, and I think what's going to happen, and I'm not going to do this unless I know I can get the website the way I want it and how the league wants it, but most likely I'll start charging folks into the site. Now, it doesn't have anything right now. And before you all run away, and hit that delete button, if you're in the league during the inaugural year of the new website, where we get all the new bells and whistles that people like, I'm not going to charge the new folks. If you're already in the league, you've been with us for a while, or even if you joined the year before, there'll be no bill. But new people coming in, there'll be some kind of cost. I do, for a number of years, I've been doing this for free, but as things move along, things get more expensive. And I'm not even talking about tariffs, but it does cost some money to reserve that web space, to reserve my domain, and to get the tech support. So that all comes out of my back pocket, and it's not that bad. But if we do retire, I got to look at financial things, and the league is one of them. They cut into the finances. So that's all for the admin notes. I want to get into some of the stats. I need a teleprompter because I really don't like looking down at stuff. I have to look like kind of like off screen. Let me see if I can do it this way. See if that's fun. Nah, I need a teleprompter. Anybody got one? So, hey, I'm reading without my glasses, believe it or not. I had another bout of another iteration of eye surgery last week, and I got one more to go. And this is all about the detached retina 2 years ago and the cataract, and it's all in my left eye. But I'm starting to read now without my glasses. I can drive better. I haven't hit any old ladies lately, but anyhow, enough about me. All right, so some stats that I wound up looking up. We got. I wanted to see how people did with bases loaded. Who was really good? Sacramento's Brian Dahlbach and the Saints Bonds. Each of them had 4 grand slams, which is interesting enough. You know, we had teams that had more than that, or players that had more than that. But Mike Cameron of Hawaii, in a bases loaded situation, he knocked in 23 RBIs. That was the best of the season last year. J.D. Drew, there's a boo for J.D. St. Paul, he in bases loaded situations, his batting average was a 727. So that's the kind of guy you want to look at and kind of walk him. In 2001, we had 20 players appear in 162 games. That's pretty good. Now, Bill from the Express asked me to check something out. And how many on Jeff Bagwell? Since 1991, he's played in every game, 162 games every year, except for the strike years. But he's got a consecutive streak of playing every game since 1991. We went back and looked at Billy Ripken. Now that totals up, by the way, for Bagwell is 1,990 games that he's played in. Cal Ripken, when he retired, he had 2,716 games played, but not all those were consecutive. I think Bill also had Cal Ripken for a couple of years up until 1990 or 91, and he was doing the same thing. He got traded to Sacramento in Florida, I think, in his later years, but I don't know how many consecutive games he's played. Another interesting note, we had a couple people who did not hit into double play. Wally Joyner from Florida was one. In 104 at bats, he didn't hit into a double play, as did Kenny Lofton. The player with the most at bats with not hitting into a double play was Motor City's DeRosa. He had 127 at bats, no DPs. So that's just a little bit of tidbits we pulled out of the stat pages. Now we all know that St. Paul had 110 wins and Hawaii had 104. You may not know that New England had 108 losses. That's the most in the Babe Ruth League, and Cy Young, it was good old Mississippi, who's now the Portland Beavers, 110 losses. I'm not going to do these in any order. I'm just going to do them as I wrote them. But the Saints, best record against left-handed pitching. He's 29-14, not bad. The team with the best right-handed pitchers. Of course, St. Paul, 88-37 record against those teams. Now, New England against righties, they were only 38-85 against righties, and Mississippi was 13-26 against lefties. And you're going to see a lot of this, when we go through their stat pages. If you're really good or really bad, you're going to get a lot of ink. If you're kind of like in the middle, like Russell, you're not going to see a lot of ink. It's just the way that happens. The best road record, St. Paul again, 59-22, and New England with the worst, 24-57. Extra inning games, there's kind of a tie. Now, when I do these, I don't look at the number of road wins or the number of road losses you had. I actually look at the differential. So if there was a big differential in wins, you get mentioned. There's kind of like a three-way tie for wins, best record, and extra innings. Fenway was 10-3. Hawaii was 13-6, and River City was 11-4. All those teams were winners this season. So you can imagine that if you're going to win the extra innings